it's Antia Boyd.
And Boyd.
And we're the creators of the Magnetize The Man Summit. So really excited for you to jump right into the next interview because we have created this for you to stop attracting emotionally unavailable men, overcome your trust issue, and so much more. So you attract that right man for you that makes you feel seen, cherished, and supported.
Can't wait to see you inside the interview and get you on the path to magnetizing your man once and for all. See you there. Look forward to it.
Mwah! Hey, it's Antia Boyd, your fierce leader, not from Germany, from the US, of the Magnetize The Man Summit, where single successful women crack the attraction code and live their happily ever after. Look, I get it. The happily ever after doesn't always happen right away, specifically if you've been really hurt and disappointed, which is why I invited the most amazing expert on that topic here, which is Camille Sheppard Parrish. Camille, say hi!
I'm so freaking excited to dive into this topic. Thank you so much, Antia, for inviting me here.
Oh, I'm so excited. Ladies, you know, you're in for a treat. I mean, Camille is really a rock star, and we're going to have some really, really good content. So let me tell you a little bit about her. She's a certified healthy love coach, relationship and dating expert. She's the founder of Get Mr. Right University and the author of Successful Women Date Differently, Secrets to Attracting the Love You Deserve. There's the book right there in the background. You can't grab it right now, but I'm sure she has a copy for you at the end of the interview. Camille helps smart, successful women overcome difficult challenges that hold them back from attracting relationship-ready men that will pursue and cherish them. Camille's is all about providing a one-of-a-kind, holistic coaching experience through the programs and retreats that will provide the necessary guidance to identity crippling blocks, unconscious behavior patterns, remove limiting beliefs, boost your self-esteem, discover what makes you happy, tap into your femininity, shift your love vibration, which will cause you to stop attracting and dating the wrong type of men. Okay, so what else do we have here?
We dropped the mic after that, Antia. Thank you.
Mic drop, and so much more. I mean, there's so much more about Camille. You know, we could continue reading this, but welcome, Camille. I'm so excited to have you and have really your wealth of wisdom of decades. You know, just really infiltrate the beingness, the cells of every single listener to this interview.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here with you. And how's Brody?
Brody's
gonna be here.
I know, right? We need him too next time. So we'll have an interview on that, ladies. So if you want to see Brody, you will see Brody. But anyways, so we want to talk about how you got into this, Camille. Like, why are you so? Because you're so passionate about it. So I'm so excited to interview you. You're so passionate on that topic, but how did you get there?
Yeah, the way I really got into this line of work that I'm doing and into my business and what I teach and what I work with women on is because I've been where you are, ladies, where many women are today in the world, whether they want to admit it, whether they even know it or acknowledge it, or are afraid to even let anyone know. You know, I come from, you know, I had a relatively okay financially backed childhood, but as far as some of the experiences I had, they were really horrible. I've had some really deep, dark experiences, ladies, so if you're not sitting down, sit down. You know, as a child, I was raped by 7 different people multiple times, and I always say one of them was a woman, because it was true. I've gone through a divorce, separation and divorce with my parents. They're both deceased now. I've watched my dad beat my mom. I've watched my mom jump out of a window and break her arm and go to an insane hospital. And we've had to be shipped away to Louisiana to live with my aunt. We've watched a lot. I've watched my sister become pregnant at 12. We've had a lot of traumatic experiences in our home. And I know that a lot of women, through talking to them and through my practice, they've had a lot of traumatic experiences from being abused or molested by their own parents, being abused or molested by someone else, or treated badly, or even bullied. They've been through divorce, separation, alcoholism, codependence. They've been through a lot of things that a lot of us have been through. And up until recent years, we never said anything about it. We just dealt with it. Your parents smacked you around, shoved you, got a switch, beat you, called you dumb, stupid, or somebody raped you or molested you, keep your mouth shut. We kept all of these things in the closet. And I think maybe just since the Oprah generation and the Ellen generation and all of these folks that are on TV now speaking up about it, and now the Me Too era, now we are feeling empowered to speak up and say me too, and some of these things have happened to me too, and and now we're not holding back. And I think now, as a nation, as a world, we women are really ready to step up to face the trauma that we've experienced in our childhood, or some of the bullying, or again some of the horrific things that have happened, and get help. And so there's a lot of women that are in that situation. And I feel like I'm really a good person to help you through that, because I've been there. And so I'm not just talking the talk. I have walked the walk. I've felt the pain, and I have been through the trauma, and I've worked on my ish, and now I'm here with Antia. And so, yeah, it's been a hard road. I can laugh about some things now, but it wasn't always that way. And so, and that's because I've truly done my work and healed from it, and it doesn't have a grip on me anymore. And I know that for a lot of women, it really impacts us sexually. It blocks us. We can't have a good sexual relationship. Many of us can't even have an orgasm or climax. A lot of us have masculine energy where we're showing up as powerful in a relationship, and we're afraid to trust and open our heart and allow the man to lead. And then for some other of us, we just get triggered, right? And we're angry, and every time someone says something, we're triggered and we're defensive, and and we don't know how to respond and communicate with our partner and even let them know what our needs are. So, and sometimes we go from one extreme to, being triggered and angry, to being a doormat and no confidence and not really appreciating our worth. And so those are the two spectrums where I see women lying.
I love that we're talking about that today. And first off, thank you so much for sharing super vulnerably and transparently from your perspective, because I think that is part of the path, is being willing to shine the light on there and not trying to suppress and, trying to put whipped cream on top when that's really not the case.
Yep. There, underneath that whipped cream and that cherry, there's a whole lot of dirt and worms and caterpillars and all kind of creepy, crawly stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes
So
we try to pretty things up.
I love that. So let's talk more about that pendulum you just talked about between the two types of women, and really their responses and what's really not helping them, and then also what helps them to get out of it step by step. So tell us a little bit more about that, those particular responses first, so women can really find themselves in what corner they are.
Right. And everyone is different. And what I'm learning even more nowadays is that men have these same issues, right? They have really been even more so in the closet about abuse and molestation, right? And rape. But, a lot of times, again, as women, we might, because of the experiences we have, we may end up not showing up or not appreciating our worth and our value. And when we are at that point, or we become a doormat, we begin to get into relationships, and we start dating the wrong beat us or bully us, right? We know how to survive in that type of environment, right? So much so that we can put on a happy face. I could remember when my first son, who's now 30, believe it or not, when my first son's father was abusing me, and I was driving in a car, and for whatever reason we had separated, and he was in the car. He wanted to talk things out, and he hauled off and punched me right in the side of my face. My whole temple and my eyes swelled up. I remember lying and telling everyone at work and all my friends that I slipped on one of my son's toys, because I was super embarrassed. I don't know why I just didn't tell someone that I was being beat. You know, I was afraid, I was ashamed, I was embarrassed, I was young. And so I was afraid to tell someone. And so you end up putting on this happy face. No, I fell on a toy. Everything is great. It's all good. I'm fine. And we never end up getting the protection, the help, the support that we need. And then we never end up digging into why we're so used to dealing with this type of treatment. And you know, the other end is that women are really, they become so masculine and dominant and controlling and have so much anger inside of them that, you know, you see them on a lot of these reality shows, and they're just having a fit all over the place, right? And so that's the other end, is that we're just out of control. We say everything else. We're nasty. We yell at the cashier. We just act in very unhumane ways because we're so angry. We got so much pent up, and maybe we feel entitled, or that the world owes us something because of what we've been through. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, ladies, I encourage you, it's a very scary place to realize, hey, I recognize that, I identified that, hey, that's how I feel. You know, I just watched a Dr. Phil show, and the woman, she said she's so angry. I mean, just 2 days ago, she beat her husband, you know, just because, and she yelled at her son, and she didn't yell at her daughter, but she was yelling at her son and at her husband, and, you know, and fighting them all the time. And there was a lot of anger there. And so, ladies, if you find that you are in this situation, I really encourage you to pause, and don't be ashamed or embarrassed. You know, accept yourself for where you are. Realize that you're not the only one. If you were the only one, we would have no coaching business, no psychotherapy business, or nothing like that, right? So just recognize that you're not by yourself. Yeah. There's many people who have gone through this. When I was very young, I was very angry at the world. It took me a long time to heal and to let go of that anger. And ladies, what that takes is to really to do your work from the inside out. And you'll hear me use the term of what's your ish, right? That just is another way of saying what's your problem, you know. And so we need to identify what's our personal problem. And a lot of times it's different for each person, and we have to really take the time to work on the trauma. Oprah just made a quote that I'm so happy she finally said it. And it's, if you're not working on the trauma, you're working on the wrong thing. Because working on that trauma and healing yourself from the inside out is what I really focus on. Is really pivotal for any type of success in your life, in your family, raising your children, and ultimately really attracting the love that you deserve. Mm-hmm. You can't have a happy, healthy life and career if you're broken inside. And so much of our society today is focused on looking fabulous on Instagram. It's like, wow, I don't even know how to pose the way they pose and hold the camera the way, I mean, they look fabulous, right? And then you see them in person and they're like 3,000 pounds. And it's like, how did you look so skinny on Instagram, right? And how did your makeup and your hair look so great, right? So they're editing their pictures and they're using all this lighting and using angles, right? So don't get caught up. And then we have people who are really manipulating their bodies and, you know, adding breasts and butt and boobs and snatching their hips and waists and whatever. And, you know, so we have so much that we're trying to live up to and keep up to, you know, we look great on the outside and sexy and like Jessica Rabbit on the outside, but on the inside, we're a mess. And so I want to really encourage you is if any of this is resonating with you, even if you don't think it is, but if you recognize that maybe your boyfriend or your ex or someone at work or in your family has said something to you to the effect of, why are you acting like that? Or what did you get an attitude for? Oh, I'm sorry, what did I do? And they're feeling put off or intimidated by you. You might want to take a step back and start doing some work.
I so love that you say that, because, you know, that you brought such specific examples, because I find myself smiling, because we all know we're going on Instagram and wondering how many filters can there possibly be. You know what I mean? And you put your eyes and the ears and, you know, I mean, makeup. Now it's this whole new thing. You don't have to put makeup on. It puts makeup on you. You know, I mean, it's incredible, right? It's almost like a little scary. But so, Camille, you know, this sounds like really easy, right? So, but what is like the first step if like a woman is like terrified? I mean, I'm think about, you know, like just specifically to women, not only the ones that go into hiding and withdrawal and almost like go more like into the depressive route, but it's specifically also the ones that are just really going into this rage, and that now out of the sudden they're supposed to just like, you know, become vulnerable in a way, right? Because they feel like if I stop my anger, I'm vulnerable because I will be attacked. If I'm not the attacker, I will be attacked. So what is the first good step for those women?
So the first thing I want you to realize is that you have to be compassionate to you, because a lot of us have never had anyone show us any compassion or love or tenderness. We didn't have our parents parent us. And so it's really important that you give yourself that kind of self-parenting compassion that you probably never got. You allow yourself to realize that you've made some mistakes. Hey, I screwed up until now. Hey, maybe I was a witch with a W or with a B, right? Up until now. And now I need to pivot, do a 360 and go the other way. It's okay. A lot of us have been there, right? The other thing is that, you know, and the only way that some of this about attracting men, right? That's what we all want. We want the love of our life. We want someone to share our life with, to grow old with, so we don't have to grow old with our cat and our dog and our birds and stuff and fish in the home, right? Only. But we want to be with someone, you know, the biggest secret to really having the love that you deserve, the love that you see Antia and Brody have, the love that you see me and Nathan have, is by really allowing yourself to become open and vulnerable. Relationships that are true are built on the foundation of being authentic and being vulnerable. And so if you really ever want to have a healthy relationship, you have to first learn how to have a relationship with yourself and heal that relationship. Learn how to be open and vulnerable. And that means that you're going to have to trust even when you're afraid to, and allow yourself to go on that journey. Here's your choice, ladies. You can stay stuck and stay where you are and single forever, never getting a husband, never marrying, never having the career or the lifestyle that you want, never having the happiness, the home, the children that you want, right? Or you can make a decision to say, I don't care. I made mistakes. I don't like my life. I don't like what's going on. I don't like being single, and I need to do something about it. And then raise your hand to get that help. So many times women say, hey, I'm a 10, I'm ready for help, but then they don't want to commit to the process. And so just to talk about a case study real quick, you know, I have two women that I worked with last year, and both of them had some childhood woundings they didn't realize when they came to me. And we did a lot of work on those childhood woundings. One woman, she realized that she had some issues because her parents divorced. One woman realized she had some issues because she was actually molested by her family member, her brother to be exact. And so, and another woman, it was her father. So I can talk about three, but I'll keep it to two. And so once they were able to come to a point of diving into their past and to connect what's showing up in your life now, the men that are showing up, the abuse, the toxic relationships, to when was the first time you experienced those type of things? When was the first time you felt angry? When did you stop trusting? When did you stop having that little girl inside of you come out and play? When did she get angry and shut down? And when you start thinking about that, you know, how old is your little girl inside? Because many of us have that little girl still stuck inside. For some of us, she might still be 5. Others, she might be 7. One woman I worked with, she said, my little girl's 21. And so that little girl might be a different age depending on what your trauma is. And it's very important for you to open up and connect with that and not be afraid to do the work. Well, the two women that I'm talking about, they spent their time doing work. They enrolled in my program. They attended my retreat. I have a 4.5-day retreat every year, love rejuvenation retreat. They attended that retreat and they did some one-on-one work with me. Well, both of them, two of the women, after the retreat last year, within 30 days, they both met their Mr. Right. One of the girls, the guy proposed to her within the 30 days that he met her. Bought her an actual ring. She actually said no. And she wanted to wait a little bit longer. Now, needless to say, they're engaged and planning their wedding. The other woman, she's married and she's pregnant and she's due to have a baby soon. And so these are the amazing things that can happen in a very short period of time if you allow yourself to be open to what Antia is bringing you here in the summit and what other coaches like myself are speaking about on this summit, and really understand who you resonate with and who can really help you. It's not about showing up with the right questions and waiting 90 days and just when do we have sex and did he call me and did I text him back and did he call me and is he with another woman and I spying on social media, who's going to pay for the date. When you do your work and you work on the trauma and you do the work from the inside out, all of those other superficial things go away. You don't need to have to worry about what to say, how to say, because guess what? The crazy stuff that you will say, he's going to fall in love with. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I said that. And he's like, I love that about you. You're always speaking what's on your heart. I love the way you snort when you laugh. It just makes me so happy. And you're going to find that he's in love with the stuff that you think are your imperfections. And that's what he loves, right? And you won't have to worry about that, you know, whether or not he likes this or that imperfection. He will fall in love with all of it, right? But you have to allow yourself to be vulnerable to go there.
I love that so much, because I tell you, when I was letting out my inner girl with Brody, he totally loves it. He's like totally used to it. But I had that story for the longest time. We're going back 10 years now, you know, where I wasn't even wearing like flower dresses or anything that like could just indicate that there's a little girl part inside of me, you know what I mean? That there's like a joyful part inside of me, right? So I can so relate with what you share, and that's so true. It's so true, ladies. Like and you will have to get used to that. So the only job that you have is loving yourself, because he will love you, and that's going to be the biggest challenge now, right?
Absolutely. And then that's the flip side of it, right? So once women, I find they do their work. So ladies, I want you to be aware of it, because we all want our Mr. Right, and we all want that passionate love. But just realize, after being in toxic and horrible relationships, and men who cheat, use, abuse, they're narcissists, they beat on you, they make you feel bad and put you down, and cheat and lie and whatever else they do, right? After being in that type of environment, we're so used to fighting and defending and watching and protecting. When you finally do find someone who really loves you, all of that goes away. Right? When you do your work inside, all of that goes away. I have a chapter in my book that says your Mr. Right is not your ideal type, right? Because it's not the kind of guy, that bad boy, or that guy that's like our father, for example, especially if he wasn't that great of an example. He's probably someone just the opposite, right? And he's someone that thinking, oh wow, you know what, I might be a little bored. He might be sexy and passionate and fun and crazy, but all of the other drama goes away. You don't have to look in his phone. You don't have to check on his social media. You don't have to follow him in his car to work and see what he's doing, because see, he'll let you know, hey honey, I'm going to be 10 minutes late. You don't have to worry. My husband tells me all the time, he's going to be 10 minutes late. I'm running behind. I'm late. You know, or he'll let you know he's not afraid to leave his phone on the counter wide open, and it rings, and he's not make it a dash to grab it so you can't see what's on it, right? He's an open book, right? And so that's what love is. And you don't have to chase and wonder. You don't have to ask a man to pay a bill or pay your rent or make sure he's bringing his part to the table, because a man who really loves you and he's committed and he's exclusive to you, he knows how to do what it takes to get you and to keep you. You won't have to fight him to say, are you committed or are we in an exclusive relationship? A man who loves you will say, you know, we've been seeing each other for a while. I think it's time for us to become exclusive. I don't want another man to be with you. So a lot of the things that we're fighting and we're asking for and we're trying to figure out, are you exclusive? Are you seeing other women? You see, when a man loves you, you don't have to do that. You really don't have to. When I was dating my husband, I thought he was stalking me. As a matter of fact, one time, a friend of mine told me, you know, he's going to be at this event that you're going to be at. I'm like, how did he know I'm going to be at the event? Because it was important to him. He asked around and found out even when we were dating. Well, surprise, surprise, I ended up not flying in for that event because I was like, this guy's a stalker, right? So you're the man who loves you, right? Making sure that he's sane. He probably may feel like a stalker and always wants to be around you and smother you a little bit, but it's just really all because he loves you. Make sure he's mentally sane, though. I have to say that because there's some crazy people in the world, right? So make sure you meet his family, make sure you meet his mom, make sure you meet his kids and see how he's showing up in the community. And, you know, if you're spiritual, make sure you understand each other's spiritual level. And before you just commit yourself into a relationship with him.
I love that so much, Camille, because Brody and I, we used to run into each other all the time too. And I would like start to really get annoyed and upset because I'm like, you know, I'm like, dude, like, I just want to have like my space and, you know, like, and I just didn't understand, right? Because he was so different than what I've dated before. You know, he was really grounded and very, just calm and just very certain, you know, just very certain of himself. And I was not used to that, you know. I wasn't used to like somebody not creating drama. And you're so right about that. You know, 2 months in, he's like, well, I don't want you to see anyone else. I thought you're not seeing anyone else. So you found out that I was seeing other people because I thought, you know what I mean? You know, you're kind of assuming that. So it's so true that guys will absolutely say, you know, I kind of don't like that, you know, like I kind of want to, I thought we were exclusive, you know, so it's so true. Absolutely. Well, I could talk forever and ever and ever with you. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was going to say the last thing when my husband and I were dating, and, you know, he, like you said, he wanted to be exclusive, and he wanted to get married, but he didn't have a ring yet. He actually took one of his rings off of his finger that he wore. And he asked me to marry him with that ring. And he said, I know this is not an engagement ring. He said, but would you mind holding this and wearing this until I get your ring made? And it was the biggest form of flattery because it showed his commitment, his openness, his vulnerability, because he didn't have a ring, right? And so don't always think that he has to have this ring and this fancy engagement and everything like you see on social media. It's going to come in different forms. And it still means he loves you.
Yeah, I love that so much, Camille. And I really loved our interview. I could talk with you forever and talk about so many more stories that you have of all the women that you've helped over the years really find love, and what really proved that the past does not equal the future, ladies, right? That's the truth. The past does not equal the future. Absolutely. So for the women who are like, you know, I really want to learn more from Camille. I'm really resonating with her. I love the story she shared of all those wonderful women. What was that retreat all about? You know, so how can they find you, and what do you have to offer for them, Camille?
Yes. So they can find me on social media. My handle is Your Girl Camille. I'm pretty much on all social media sites. And I do have a free gift for them. I believe the gift is 3 ways to stop dating the wrong type of men.
The wrong type of men. Mm-hmm.
And attract them to ride, right? And when you do sign up for that, you do get a bundle. So you do get chapter 1 of my book, which is super juicy.
Ooh.
So have an opportunity for the first 10 women to have a session with me so that we could learn more about what's going on with you and see if I can help you, or if I may have to say, hey, you need to go back to Antia and let her work with you, because that's her expert. And so I'm very transparent about that. I recognize that we all are here to help women with, different things, and I recognize what my niche is, and so that's what I'm offering them, and so I hope they appreciate that. And then also my retreat, I don't remember when this is going to air, but my retreat is in October 3rd through the 7th of 2018. So
yeah, absolutely.
Next year, depending on when this is airing.
Yes. So we're in October 1st. Is all launch, ladies, in case you forgot what you will watch. Well, if you're watching it, you're obviously participating in the launch. So awesome, Camille. Otherwise, hop on the next one. Either you're going to be super spontaneous or you're going to hop on the next retreat. So and participate in this magical experience that helped many, many women to find Mr. Right in a very short period of time, get engaged, get married, have babies, like we just talked about. So this can go really fast. If you have the right system, the right mentor, and the right sort of like immersive training, ladies, this can sometimes be the key for you. So I really highly recommend taking Camille up on that offer and finding out more about that. Well, thank you so much for being on today, Camille. Like I'm really feeling like it's such a treat. I'm indulging in your wisdom that you have to share. So thank you so much.
One day you and I have to do a retreat in California.
Oh, totally. We should do it here at our expansion manager. Totally. We should totally do that here in San Diego. That would be so
much. Appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. All right, ladies, and I'll see you on the next interview. Take care. Was that absolutely delicious? We just love how every single expert has those juicy pieces of wisdom for you to enjoy. Look, if you want to own the entire Magnetize the Man series, we invite you to get our Magnetize the Man VIP All Access package. Not only will you own the entire video series, but also you will get our Magnetize the Man Masterclass that teaches you the 3-step formula, step by step, on how to attract the right man for you. You also get some other juicy secret trainings and a one-on-one call with me where we personalize your individual journey to attract that right man for you as soon as possible. So look, to get that, click the link below that says get access now, and you get it all. Own the entire series, including all the juicy bonuses, well worth over $1,400 for nearly the fraction of the cost. All right, we will see you in the next interview.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Mwah.